Hello and welcome to TOS TV, your digital first Pan-African network. I am Uchenna Oka and this is Africa Now. We start with development with Uganda elections aftermath. The United Nations has condemned an attack by the Ugandan security forces that left several journalists injured. They were reporting on the opposition MP and musician Bobby Wine as he was highlighting allegations of human rights abuses in the country. The police said security personnel were dispersing an uncontrolled crowd and said it was unfortunate that journalists were injured. However, eyewitnesses said soldiers arrived in trucks outside the UN Human Rights Office in the capital, Kampala, and started beating the journalists with batons. It becomes amid growing concern at the ongoing clampdown against the opposition following President Yoweri Museveni's victory in a disputed election. Videos show members of the Ugandan military police chasing after journalists and beating them with long sticks. Some reporters were left with serious injuries, including bleeding cuts to the head. The brutal incident took place right outside the UN Human Rights Office in the capital, Kampala. Former hotelier who was depicted as a hero in the 2004 film Hotel Rwanda has been charged with 13 offences, including terrorism, for starting an armed group in recent years that is accused of staging deadly attacks within Rwanda. Paul Rusesabagina's lawyers have denied the charges against him. Rusesabagina is a fierce critic of Rwanda's President Paul Kagame and had lived in exile in the US. He says he was abducted in Dubai last year and flown to Rwanda. The authorities say he was arrested under an international warrant. Rusesabagina has said through his lawyers that he is not a Rwandan citizen but a Belgian national. Wambaisori said. He also says that the High Court division that handles cross-border crimes is not competent to handle his case. He wants his case to be moved to Belgium. Prosecutor Bonaventure Rubawa said Rusesabagina had dual citizenship and could therefore be charged with either state. If convicted, Rusesabagina faces a maximum of 25 years in prison. The trial will resume on 26th of February. The United States on Wednesday urged the Rwandan government to provide humane treatment and a fair and transparent legal process in the case. 35 people have been killed in fighting between semi-nomadic herders and farmers in southeastern Chad in recent days, according to a senior official. The deaths occurred in Salamat province, where farmers were attacked when they encountered a roadblock. Provincial Secretary General Mara Maad said. The farmer blamed local cattle herders and launched an attack on them on Monday, prompting authorities to send in troops who restored order the same day. The inner community clashes have caused 35 deaths, including a soldier added. Herders and sedentary farmers have a long and troubled history in southern Chad, where weapons exist in large numbers and violence often flares after cattle destroy crops. This is your digital first Pan-African network, TOS TV network. You are watching Africa Now. More stories from the African continent after the break. Do stay tuned. Welcome back. You are watching Africa Now. The United Nations Secretary General and Chairperson of the African Union Commission called on Somali leaders on Tuesday to resume dialogue to resolve outstanding differences concerning elections in the country. In a joint statement, Secretary General Antonio Guterres and Chairperson Moussa Faki Mahamat commended the people and leaders of Somalia. I quote, "The hard-won gains are a testimony to the firm determination of the people of Somalia towards lasting peace and prosperity following decades of instability." End of quote. The Secretary General and the Chairperson urged the Somali leaders to resume dialogue and work in a spirit of compromise to overcome the last political hurdles to inclusive elections as soon as possible and respecting the agreements they reached on 17 September 2020. As per the September 2020 agreement, parliamentary elections scheduled for December 2020 and presidential elections on 8 February 2021, while the parliamentary elections were postponed, the presidential elections did not take place. New dates for the elections have not yet been set. The Somali government has suspended public gatherings, citing a rise in COVID-19 cases. The move is likely to affect Friday's planned protest against the political uncertainty in the country after President Mohamed Abdullahi Farmajo's term ended before elections were held. The Council of Ministers met on Wednesday and was briefed by the Health Minister on the coronavirus situation in the country. The ministers directed that all non-essential workers work from home to reduce the spread of the virus. Movement between regions and unnecessary travel will also be limited, according to the new directives. Somalia has 5,500 confirmed cases of coronavirus, including 172 deaths. The country is expected to receive a shipment of AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine later this month. Still on Somalia, poor rainfall, flooding and desert locusts are contributing to extreme food insecurity in Somalia, threatening 2.6 million people, the UN Agriculture Agency said in a new analysis released on Wednesday. In a joint report, the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization warns that in the absence of the large-scale and sustained humanitarian assistance, the situation could worsen through mid-2021. The report, compiled by FAO's Food Security and Nutrition Analysis Unit and the Famine Early Warning System Network, highlights that desert locusts will continue to pose a serious risk of damage to both pasture and crops countrywide. It also cites forecasts that indicate an increased likelihood of below-average rainfall during the April-June season across most of the country that will further exacerbate food and nutrition insecurity for millions. FAO and the Somali government emphasized the urgency to increase support for ongoing desert locust control and surveillance efforts and to provide rapid emergency assistance over the coming months. Eritrea's President Isaias Afwerki has expressed his concern about the situation in Ethiopia's Tigray region. In an interview with government media, he said, and I quote, "We are contributing in accordance to our obligation without commenting on reports that Eritrean troops are in Tigray to help Ethiopian forces fight the Tigray People's Liberation Front. We, more than others in the region, have experienced the problem for 80 years. Therefore, peace and stability in Ethiopia is of more concern to us than others." President Isaias is quoted as saying, he said Eritrea was trying their level best to contribute to the situation in Ethiopia, but he did not specify what kind of contribution Eritrea was making. He termed as utter madness how the TPLF, Tigray's ousted ruling party, seized the northern command of the Ethiopian army in November. In early 2020, President Isaias had said, "We will not fold our hands and still seek concerning matters that develop in Ethiopia." This is your Digital First Pan-African Network, TOS TV network. You are watching Africa Now. Still ahead, business and sports. Thanks for staying tuned. In business, Kenya's tea sector thrived despite the pandemic-related challenges. Earnings from Kenya tea export in 2020 jumped 15% to 130.25 billion Kenya shilling from 113.45 billion Kenya shilling in 2019, according to data from the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics. Kenya's tea output increased, leading to higher tea exports. The volume of tea exported from Kenya in 2020 rose by 21% to 535.3 million kilograms from 474.9 kilograms exported the previous year. Part of the reason Kenya tea exports increased sharply in 2020 is a dip in tea output from the world's second-largest black tea producer, India. India's tea sector suffered from a shortage of tea workers due to lockdown and heavy rains, which resulted in lower tea output from the Asian nation. Subsequently, major tea importers such as the UK, Egypt and Pakistan bought the commodity from Kenya. Hosts Mauritania secured their maiden victory in the Total Africa Under-20 Cup of Nations after beating Mozambique 2-0 in Nouakchott to revive their hopes of qualifying for the quarterfinals. The Mauritians came into Wednesday's match on the back of a narrow defeat to Cameroon in the opening match of the tournament. Two stunning goals from Omar Mabarek and Sili Sangare won the first match for hosts against the spirited Mozambique. The hosts stunned Mozambique after 90 minutes when start man Mabarek fired his free kick past the keeper to give Mauritania the lead and inked his name in the history books as the player to score his country's maiden goal at the tournament. The victory sends Mauritania joint second with Uganda, who lost to Cameroon in the earlier game at the Stade Olympique in Nouakchott. And that is Africa Now on your digital first Pan-African News Network, TOS TV. For more updates, do visit our website at www.tostvnetwork.com. Do also follow and like TOS TV Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And remember to subscribe on YouTube. Do stay with us and enjoy more programs on TOS TV Network. I am Uchenna Oka. Bye for now.